Hi, my name is Gary Bogan. I've put together a short few presentations on photographic workflow in as far as they relate to HDR processing and the use of three particular products: Photomatix, Photoshop Element 7 and Topaz Adjust. I'm going to break this series of demonstrations into a number of chapters or sections dealing with the loading up of shots onto Photoshop Element 7. I'm going to show you how to use Photomatix software, doing it manually first and then processing multiple shots in batch mode. We'll also in a later chapter have a look at some tone mapping in Photomatix. I use version 4.1 and I also use Topaz Adjust. I'll show you some of that and how I would normally finish then some final presentation shots in PSE 7. And we may also have a look at how to blend layers for HDR processing to reduce ghosting effects. Some references you may find useful are on the screen here. HDRsoft.com has a lot of links. The stuckincustoms.com HDR tutorial is particularly good, and there's a few other tutorials that one can pick up. To understand the aspects of Photomatix and its settings, if you Google Photomatix 4.1 Pro user manual as a PDF, you'll be able to download it and read it in more detail. And Topaz Labs, you can get a URL there on the screen, and you can also pick up its PDF by googling Topaz Adjust 4.pdf. It's not possible to provide the details of every single setting in the demos, but the PDFs will explain details more clearly. So we're going to start first by loading up some shots from the camera, and I take them into Photoshop Element 7 initially. So here I am. I've loaded the shots from my camera into my work in progress folder in Photoshop Element 7, and you can see various shots that I've taken at different exposures. There's a lot of rubbish in there as well, but I would generally check my shots to make sure, for example, that one we're looking at now, it's aperture priority at f13 with an exposure bias value of -2, and then the next one is the normal one at 0, and then the following shot is at +2. So I would go along these and check to make sure my groups of 3, if I have a -2, 0 and a +2 exposure, I've marked my shots actually with a yellow star on this screen, so I know which groups of 3 go together. And what I would normally do then is move them into a special subfolder. So I'm going and I'm group selecting, control and click along those I know belong to groups of 3. I have a lot of rubbish there in the middle, but down here as I scroll down I'm picking more ones that I know are at -2, 0 and +2 exposure, and I'm going to grab all those and I'm going to place them into a folder called My Tree Sets, and we're in there now, and we've got what, 2, 4, we've got about 6 shots altogether, each with 3. That makes 18. I have a couple of other folders there. If I do exposures of say -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, they'll go into my 7 sets folder. And what we'll do now shortly is open Photomatix and start processing from that particular folder of my tree sets.